So, if you haven't seen the movie Social Network, or it's been over a year or so, I encourage you to watch this movie again. It will explain a lot about how Mark Zuckerberg stole someone else's idea and built one of the largest and certainly the most influential companies of our time. I certainly don't need to explain to you what Facebook is or how even when it got started. This is not a history lesson. Rather, it's an investigative journalist piece that is so damaging to so many politicians that it could not just end my career, but end me. After all, there's a lot of politicians that want to keep their secrets well hidden and well buried. So leave it to the rooster to uncover the truth that they don't want you to hear about. Mark Zuckerberg employs over 60 lobbyists to control Democrats in Washington, D.C. Now, that's 60 lobbyists that we know about, right? There's a lot more that we don't. So what is a lobbyist? A lobbyist's job is to build connections with lawmakers in Congress and buy their vote with gifts, which could include either money and or other things such as a house or even a $3 million mortgage that they don't have to pay back, right? Just look at Nancy Pelosi, who has a net worth of over $120 million, right? So much of what was earned from fraudulent backhand deals that didn't serve her constituents, but rather her pockets. Why do you think that she pushes such crazy agendas? Can someone scream corrupt white privilege while she admittedly claims to support the people? Look, everybody has a price. Nancy Pelosi just lost her soul a very long time ago. So, how much is enough? Kamala Harris, on the other hand, gets some of her money through gifts, campaign contributions, and funneled through her husband. It's pretty easy to launder or hide money. It was just as easy for my team to uncover their dark secrets. I'll make them public to Fox News because I think CNN and MSNBC will try to cover it up. And there's other politicians that have taken illegal contributions and other so-called gifts, promising special favors. One of which is Elizabeth Warren. My team has found many inconsistencies and weak or failed cover-ups between her and her Harvard husband. Harvard themselves are tied in a huge part of the scandal. Now let's look at Maxine Waters. Here is someone that I've invested a lot in investigating, and my efforts turned out to be fruitful. Maxine Waters has taken many handouts, has performed special favors, and is in several powerful people's pockets. She's very corrupt. I will be bringing her file to Senator Ted Cruz for him to do what he will do with it, along with passing along to Fox News and CNN and MSNBC, just to see what MSNBC and CNN do or try to cover up. I've got a lot of scandalous files on several well-known people, from Al Sharpton to Bill Clinton to Chris Cuomo and his brother Andrew, the New York governor. I'm working on Bill de Blasio, but he appears to be somewhat clean so far, but the investigation is still underway. Just because someone has a difference of opinion doesn't necessarily mean that they're guilty of wrongdoing. Bottom line, there are many corrupt politicians and lobbyists. Know this. Government and politicians have always known that if you want to get elected, you're going to owe many people favors. They give you money and help you get elected. You sponsor a particular bill or vote against a bill to the lobbyist's benefit. There are about 12,000 registered lobbyists and many more unregistered in the United States alone, working and bringing our elected officials to sway a vote here, do a favor there, and basically break the law and oath of the Constitution for which they are sworn to uphold. Lobbyists are people who work for different firms like agents, almost, but much, much worse. Let's use a real-world example where Comcast wanted to merge with NBC Universal, and they needed the black vote, for example. True story, by the way. So they knew that Al Sharpton, a former street hustler, that would sell out their own people, the black community, his friends, Jesse Jackson, and his own family by taking bribes. A lot of money and a very lucrative job with MSNBC so that he could convince the black community to accept the Comcast NBC Universal deal. And I'm going to repeat that so you understand. Comcast paid Al Sharpton a lot of money, and we're talking above and beyond $150,000, plus a lucrative job at MSNBC, which Comcast owns, to push their agenda to sway the black vote, right? And they also, I'll get into a little more in a little bit. That's very important. The biggest concern of mine is that it worked. They pay Al Sharpton to slam President Trump. It's chump change to increase ratings. In fact, Comcast has put out a memo stating in order to work for them, you have to go against what you believe in and go against Trump if you work for MSNBC. That's what sells ratings, and it's simple economics. The NRA, AT&T, Comcast, Planned Parenthood, the teachers union, the police union, the dairy farmers, corn, tobacco industry, the satellite industry, and so on and so forth. Everybody has their hand out. Even Black Lives Matter. But do you know who has the biggest pockets and more lobbyists than you might think? Who would have thought that Google, Twitter, and Facebook have lobbyists? Facebook alone has over 60 that we know of, and at times close to 5,000 lobbyists in politicians' pockets serving their needs. What are lobbyists again? What's their purpose? To crack and break your once honest politician and turn them to a puppet to do whatever they want them to do. Basically, Mark Zuckerberg and Facebook are buying politicians to overlook their illegal business practices and have politicians look the other way. Facebook will sway votes for Democrats by throttling anything conservative or even such things as the American flag. That's right. If you post the American flag and Facebook finds out, your account could be shut down. Mark Zuckerberg has more power than the President of the United States, and the Republicans are not smart enough to put two and two together. Mark Zuckerberg is absolutely untouchable. He can not only invest in the Democratic Party, but he'll do them favors by swaying their votes if they turn their back and look the other way to his illegal practices. There's not a single politician on his payroll that will prosecute him. It doesn't matter how many times Senator Cruz or someone else calls that smug little arrogant punk up to the stand, as he's done before and will continue to do. He will laugh in their faces because he knows what they don't. His money has guaranteed his protection. He is more guilty than any one person out there besides George Soros for instigating violence and world chaos. He's the second, number 2 guy in the entire world for instigating violence and world chaos. The problem is, no one cares enough to do anything about it or stop him. I have an idea. I'm calling on a few programmers to create an open source platform similar to Facebook. Or, simpler yet, everybody go back to using MySpace. MySpace has the financial resources behind it, the history, and its owners, non-biased and certainly not some egomaniac named Mark Zuckerberg. Hey, can I ask you a real quick question? Who are you voting for? You can be honest.
What's the other dude's name? I forgot his name.
Biden?
Yeah.
You're voting for the other dude? But you don't even know his name.
I don't know his name.
All right. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Take care. Bye.
Bye.
Hey, everybody, it's the Rooster, aka Jerome Robinson from the Robinson Report. So I want to say, don't mind me, I'm unshaven. It's just because I broke my arm. I can't really shave myself. I broke my arm up by my shoulder, so they can't cast it, they said. The hospital said because it's too high. But I've definitely been cast on my foot. I broke my foot, and I need to have surgery done on it. They say I won't be able to walk for 6 months if I get the surgery. If I don't, I won't be able to walk again. I believe in Jesus. I prayed to Jesus. So I'm hoping that Jesus will do his thing and show that the doctors were wrong. Anyway, I'm asking you if you could possibly smash that like button. Do me a huge favor. Help me spread the word. Right. So I do these videos to get people to kind of open up their mind and use their head to expand their knowledge base. And really, I want them to stop the hate. And I'm learning to be a better Christian. And I'm not against what Black Lives Matter movement was supposed to originally represent, but what it's become, along with Antifa and a lot of other people, full of hate and misguided information, and people don't really understand their history. So me as a black man, I want to educate people, right? So please do me a favor, whether you believe in what I believe in, whether you follow, all I want to do is tell you the truth, right? So I know my history. I haven't ignored it. 44 years old. By the time you're watching this, I'll be 45. Who knows? But I know. I study. I'm a research analyst, and I study, and I know my stuff. I used to wear a suit. I'm not in a suit right now. Don't mind me. I'm in my Jesus shirt. I don't try to, twist your arm to get you to believe in Jesus. Jesus existed. We know that. There's no disputing it. Whether he was the only Son of God, that's up for interpretation, right? Well, my goal is to get people to just stop lying to themselves. Please smash that like button. Hit that like button on YouTube. Subscribe to my channel. Subscribe to this and watch, right? And then share me with your friends and family. Share me on your Facebook, right? My videos, and text your family. Text your friends. Say, hey, watch this video. It's really, really good. It helps me greatly spread the word. The more subscribers I have and the more hours that people watch my content, the more likely other people will get to see my message, right? Whether you're conservative, whether you're right-wing, left-wing, it doesn't matter. I've got Democratic friends. I've got Republican friends. My mission is to tell you the truth. You haven't found that in news today. You haven't found that in CNN. You haven't found that in MSNBC. Some will even say you haven't found that in Fox News, right? I'll tell you, who funds Fox News and who supports MSN and how MSNBC and how CNN benefits. So I know the history of all this. I know what a lot of people don't know. I am that geek genius that studies and sticks to the facts. I'm like Sheldon from Big Bang Theory. So I don't want to bore you. I'm just asking you to help me open up your mind and open up the minds of others. Be malleable, be open, be willing to change. I learned in Philosophy 101. I went to college 4 times. I went Philosophy 101. I learned my favorite class ever, by the way. Philosophy, if you go into a discussion with somebody, be prepared. This is if you're smart, right? Be prepared to be malleable. Be prepared to be moldable. Be prepared to learn, right? I'll learn from my 5-year-old. I'll learn from my 2-year-old. I'll learn from my
4-year-old
father, who's 80-something years old. He's going to probably kill me now. He's up there. He could be 90. I'm sorry, Dad, if I'm wrong. But I learn from anybody and everybody. I learn from you. How many of my followers or subscribers will hit me up, whether they call me on the phone or text me or email me or send me a message through either Facebook or YouTube and let me know, hey, you were wrong about this, or you should look at this, whatever. People have changed my mind. Trust me, I wasn't always a believer in Jesus. It was only the past few months. I wasn't always a believer in what I believe in now. Both, whether it pertains to former President Obama or current President Donald Trump. I didn't vote for Donald Trump, and I was at one point very much against Obama. I'm not anymore, right? I've changed my views. It means that I'm willing to change. I'm willing to learn new things. I'm not stubborn. I encourage you not to be stubborn. I encourage you to be open-minded. So if you're gonna, feel free. If you want to come on my show, I encourage you. I'd love to talk to you. Whether you're stubborn, not open-minded or not, come and talk to me. Come on my show and learn something new. Be a part. Preach your message. I would love to have you on there. I'd also love for you to be open-minded, to be willing to learn new things. Hey, Jerome Robinson, aka the Rooster from the Robinson Report. This is my little man right here.
We're out.
One of many. What is it? How do we do?
We're out.
What do we do? We're out.
We're out.